Hey everyone, welcome back to Mia Stories, where we transform struggles into strength and setbacks into success. I'm your host, Sunny Rahman, and today I'm bringing you an inspirational story about resilience, courage, and leadership that will leave you motivated to face whatever life throws your way. It's of the King Ashvardhan, a man who lost everything but fought back to reclaim not just his throne, but the heart of an entire kingdom. In the ancient kingdom of Avanara, where the sun bathed the land in gold and the rivers carried the whispers of old, King Aryavarta's reign stood as a beacon of peace. His people flourished, his lands prospered, and under his rule, Avanara knew only the soft lull of contentment. But as with all things, time moves relentlessly forward. The sudden passing of Aryavarta left a void that neither time nor tradition could easily fill. The crown meant for his son, Prince Ashvardhan, glittered with promise, but fate, as it often does, had other plans. Prince Ashvardhan was young, barely past 17 summers, when his father's funeral pyre still smoldered in the winds of uncertainty. His heart was heavy with grief, but it was the treachery that followed that truly broke him. His uncle, Lord Dhruva, a man cloaked in ambition and deceit, usurped the throne through force and cunning, casting the rightful heir into exile, an outcast in a world that once lay at his feet. Ashvardhan's world had collapsed overnight. Stripped of his titles, his home, and his family's legacy, he wandered distant lands, forgotten by his people and tormented by his fall from grace. Alone, he battled not only the harsh elements, but also the gnawing doubts that crept into his soul. The loneliness was suffocating, the shame unbearable. He could have given up. In those dark moments, defeat often seemed like an easier path. But something inside Ashvardhan refused to yield. It was his father's words, echoing in his mind. True strength is not in power, but in persistence. Driven by this belief, Ashvardhan did not seek revenge. He sought understanding. The boy who had been raised in palaces now lived among farmers and laborers. He toiled alongside blacksmiths, ate from the humble plates of the poor, and found solace in the simple wisdom of the common folk. Every hardship he endured, every lesson he learned, tempered him, turning the once naive prince into a man forged by adversity. Years passed, and though Avanara's borders grew distant, the news of his homeland's suffering reached him. His uncle, now King Dhruva, had bled the kingdom dry. Crops failed, families starved, and the people lived in fear. The Golden Kingdom had turned into a shadow of its former self, and whispers of rebellion began to stir among the oppressed. It was then that Ashvardhan made his decision. No longer a prince, but a leader by experience, he knew that the time had come to reclaim not just his throne, but his duty to his people. Quietly, he returned to Avanara, moving through the kingdom like a ghost. He met with the rebels in secret, not as their sovereign, but as one of them. He spoke of justice, a future where they would no longer suffer under tyranny, where the kingdom would once again thrive under a ruler who understood their struggles. The rebellion grew. Farmers, artisans, and even soldiers, those who had once sworn loyalty to Lord Dhruva, turned to Ashvardhan. His presence brought hope, his words ignited their spirits, and soon a force emerged from the shadows, ready to reclaim the kingdom. They marched not with the arrogance of conquerors, but with the determination of people reclaiming what was stolen from them. The final battle was fierce, and the odds seemed insurmountable. But Ashvardhan, now a master of both strategy and the hearts of his people, led his forces with unwavering courage. He knew every life lost was a sacrifice for a brighter future. And then, in the heat of the battle, he came face to face with his uncle, the man who had taken everything from him. Dhruva's eyes were filled with fear, not of death, but of the righteousness that stood before him. Ashvardhan did not strike him down in anger, but in the name of justice. With that, the reign of terror ended, and the people of Avanara finally breathed freely once more. But Ashvardhan's true victory was not in reclaiming the throne. His greatest triumph lay in what followed. He did not seek vengeance against those who had once turned their backs on him. Instead, he rebuilt the kingdom with compassion, with laws that ensured fairness for all, and with a heart that never forgot the lessons learned during his years of exile. He traveled across the land, listening to the grievances of the people, ensuring that no voice went unheard. Under his rule, Avanara once again flourished. not because of its wealth or power, but because of the justice and empathy that guided its king. In the end, King Ashvardhan became more than just a monarch. He became a symbol of resilience, a living testament that true leadership is born not in the grandeur of palaces, but in the struggles endured, the sacrifices made, and the unwavering determination to rise above the darkest of times. His story, passed down through generations, taught that no matter how dire the circumstances, no matter how deep the fall, greatness lies in the strength to rise again, to persist, and to lead with heart and honor. Moral: the greatest leaders are not those who have never fallen, but those who rise after every fall, stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than before. King Ashvardhan's journey from exile to empire shows us that no matter how tough life gets, with determination and perseverance, we can overcome even the greatest obstacles. Remember, it's not about how many times you fall, but how you rise again. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more powerful, motivational stories like this, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment below on what inspired you the most, and subscribe to MGS Stories. Your support means the world to me and encourages me to keep bringing you more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.